Hello and welcome to another video. So according to GameWith, Rotation Blood is currently tier 1, although I don't know how much I could trust that ranking, but I suppose competitively that might make sense. The deck does do fairly well against the Mysteria matchup, having an earlier win con, but outside of that I definitely see it struggling in most other matchups. I mean, Blood on Blood's fairly decent, but really anything else can just be a nightmare. So we've got a couple of games here for the Dark Feast Bat Blood. It's a pretty generic build, nothing too crazy new. Pretty stock standard for what these blood decks have been running right from the get-go with Dark Feast Bat, so we're going to get right into this and check it out. So to kick off game 1, we have Dragon. Why not? Dragon is still super popular, and alongside Blood is actually ranked as one of the top decks right now, according to GameWith's tier list. Like I said, take that with a grain of salt. GameWith can be good and bad, it really just depends sometimes. But most of the time, I trust their tier 1s to usually be fairly accurate, although this is definitely weird. It was updated December 4th-ish, December 5th maybe, sometime. That's roughly when it was updated, so it is almost out by half a week at this point for a tier list, so definitely we could have seen a meta shift for sure since then, but it doesn't seem like it could be that inaccurate. So I wanted to really give this a go and show off the deck, and I think we did a fair go with this time, mainly looking of course for those early drops, trying to set up a Florist wherever you kind of can, and taking full advantage of those Evos is very important right now. You really want to use them on pretty much purely Vera or Evil Eye Demon, with maybe an Evo on a Valkyrie if you need it. So we started off fairly well here. I mean, I don't mind absorbing some damage. And we're going to do fairly well going into the next turn. Turn 5 has our very promising Blazing Sapphire. And with those draws, we're looking at a very nice next turn. It wasn't going to quite be enough to get us across the line this turn, but next turn, Gift and Restless are definitely going to help us out. So the Commander, not a big deal. I think I can handle him pretty easily. I mean, it is going to take a little bit to get rid of him, but nothing I'm not prepared to do. So we're going to be able to use the Razory. I would have preferred to hit it face with it, but I wanted to keep our Vera at max health, stop it from being easily removed. And we're going to get the Flavorous, however you want to go with it, out 5-3, pretty good stat body. A Dark Feast Bat is getting a fair few points now. I mean, it should have a pretty okay boost on it, and we do have the double Omen of Lust with the Bloodkin play to really help us out, because we are going to take extra damage next turn, so we will be at 6, so Gift will take us up to 7. And with the double Valkyrie, I don't know, Omen of Lust, we're going to be able to wipe their board anyway and go face for a pretty substantial amount of damage. This is probably the only other time that, honestly, using an Evo is good. Turn 7, if you've got an extra Evo, you've got a Storm, or you've just got a follower that can go face, taking that damage right before a Dark Feast Bat is definitely what you want to be doing. And I play the Restless Parish because next turn we're not going to be able to use it with the Dark Feast Bat if I don't play it now. So that should take us up to, I believe, 9 damage on the Dark Feast Bat. So with the extra Evo from the Gift of Blood, we would actually get 11 total damage next turn, just off that Dark Feast Bat if our opponent hadn't conceded. So it's definitely those sort of matchups that I really enjoy. When they go that way, they're really nice. Unfortunately though, they can very easily go the opposite way to where you just can't deal the damage to yourself without risk of dying, and that can become a problem, especially against rune matches. As you see here, rune matches can be hard, although this rune deck wasn't what I'd consider a top tier rune deck. It was definitely more of a tier 2 rune deck, I would say, judging by what they were playing. So we started off very solid, double Gift plus Blood Pact. That pretty much guarantees us a decent start. I do go for the early Blood Pact, mainly just searching for whatever I can get my hands on, and worked out okay. I went for the triple Gift, a little too early though. I really completely blanked that the Florist just is a 3-drop, which is not fun thanks to its effect now. So a natural mistake. It's not too uncommon. If I was definitely playing more competitive, it's something you definitely want to keep an eye on. But at the same time, it developed us an okay board state and gave us a lot of pings, which definitely isn't too big of a drawback yet. The only real issue we have now is our draw power. We don't really have any, and that's going to become a huge issue. Fortunately, we did get Blood Pact, which gives us some options, and we can heal a little bit now, while taking a little bit of damage as well. Plus, we're going to be able to absorb some stuff here, which is always good. Being able to basically fodder this owl out. Evil Eye Demon, that's actually perfect. That's going to work really nicely this turn. And a second one, setting us up for an even better long-term game, since we can use both our evolves on these Evil Eye Demons. Now, Dark Feast Bats now are at 6 damage. You can't go wrong with that. So they're going for these snowmen, so they're definitely looking to fill their board in preparation for something big. We're not going to really allow that though. Go straight for the Evil Eye Demon. Wipe their board again. We're definitely going to be in for a tough time now though, as we do have to make sure we've got room to remove things. We do get pretty lucky with those Mysterian Knowledges, just not able to keep up with this. Getting, of course, all golems is not a good thing for our opponent at the moment. But that's what happens when you have a 50-50 RNG. So I go for the Blood Pact, still above 10, which is good, but we do drop just below here to get this extra damage in. Setting up for our Dark Feast Bat, which I believe now is at 9 or 10. More than enough damage to go for lethal, right at 9. And their turn 7 play was pretty lousy, honestly. So it's going to be a clear game with the Dark Feast Bat. They're definitely playing a tempo rune variant based on the cards that they were using. So I was worried this deck would be absolutely terrible in the current meta. Luckily, it still wasn't too bad, and it was holding its own really well right now. I think the slight meta shift away from Lion decks has really helped this. I haven't really seen hardly any Lions on ladder in at least 3 days, especially once Mysteria's kind of taken off. So this deck's definitely finding some ground there, which is good to see. Blood getting a little bit of life struck into it, even if it's not being top tier. It is at least having a respectable matchup. And I mean, this deck, while being reasonably heavy on legendaries, I mean, we've got 9 in this one. It's not the worst deck around at the moment when it comes to legendary costs. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list in the description below. Until next time, see ya.